Hi, welcome back to Taffy's Texas Kitchen. Today we're going to be making Easter bread, which is a basic brioche bread recipe, and you form it into a ring that represents the crown of that Jesus wore. And so we're going to get everything together, and I'll be right back with you. First off, what we're going to do is get our yeast going, and I have 1 cup of whole milk. You can use any milk you want, it doesn't have to be whole milk. And I'm going to put 1.5 teaspoons of yeast. And then I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of sugar. And we're just going to give that just a little stir. We're going to let that set for about 5 minutes, and that's just to make sure our yeast is active, because if for some reason the yeast isn't good or nothing happens, and you're not wasting a whole loaf of bread, all your ingredients. And we'll be back. Okay, our yeast bloomed up beautifully, so it's good to go. So next I'm going to get our flour. And we need 4.5 cups of flour, and I'm just going to go ahead and sift it right into the mixer. We need 2.5 more cups. And this is really the proper way to get flour out, is to fill up your cup rather than dipping your cup down into the flour, because if you do that you can compact the flour, and that's a lot of times when you do that you get dense bread. So it's best to fill up the cup. I'm going to go ahead and get a 1/2 cup. So we need 4.5, so it's 2 cups. And I couldn't find my 1/2 cup, so I got a 1/4 cup, so 2 of those. Sifting your flour just helps make everything, if you're making a cake, it just makes it lighter. There are some flours that come pre-sifted. Okay, we've got all the flour in there. Okay, then we're going to need 1/2 cup of sugar, so that's 2/4. And a teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to let that go just for a second to get mixed up. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and pour our milk yeast mixture in. Make sure I got all the yeast in. I'll go ahead and scrape down the sides. We're gonna let this go for about 5 minutes, and then after that, we're gonna put in a whole stick of softened butter. And you also need to add 2 eggs. Alright, we're gonna give that a mix and we'll be back. Okay, we're gonna scrape down our sides. One stick of butter, and we're going to 1 tablespoon at a time mix this into the dough. And the butter is room temperature. It's been setting out for about since this morning, 4 hours. Just kind of want to put them in, just kind of watch to see when the butter looks like it's kind of been incorporated. And I'm going to stop it and scrape down my bowl. This is a dough that does take a long time to knead in the mixer. After we get the butter incorporated, we are going to let this go for about 15 more minutes, just mixing. Okay, I'm going to just stir down to the bottom, make sure that it's all getting mixed. And it's still just a little bit tacky. What should happen is that after it's kneaded for the 15 minutes, that right now you can see it's tacky and it sticks to my hand, but after kneading for about 15 minutes, then all the tackiness, you want to let it go until all the tackiness is gone. I'm going to let that go ahead and finish and go for about 15 minutes, and then I'm just going to set the timer and let it go for 15 minutes, and then we'll be back. Okay, it's been mixing now for about 15 minutes. You can see I can touch it now and it don't stick to me, and that's what you want. Pull this all off the dough, off the hook. I'm just going to put a little bit of oil over the top of this and then turn it over and let it rise in the bowl. It needs to rise for an hour and a half. I'm going to color our eggs, and I've got some water boiling on the stove here. So I'm just going to try to pour about half of it in each one of these bowls. And then we need a teaspoon of vinegar, and we're not going to cook them first. Try to make 2 pink eggs. I'm just going to put a couple squirts in there. And then 2 blue eggs. water's hot, so you don't want to plop the eggs in there and you'll burn yourself. Blue ones are already starting to turn blue. It don't take them long at all. I'm gonna go ahead and take the blue ones out. They're really nice and pretty blue. Just set them down on a paper towel. Pink cakes. Okay, I'm gonna let those just sit there till they completely dry off, and then it's almost time for our bread. It's been rising for about an hour and a half, and it's get that going, and we'll be back. Alrighty, our dough's ready, and we're gonna punch it down. It's so soft. Kind of fold it because we need to cut this into 3 equal pieces. And if you have a scale, you can weigh it. I don't have a food scale. I need to invest in one. Just eyeball it. And then we're going to want to take each piece, let's throw some room. You're going to want to kind of just, we're going to braid the bread like, you know, brioche bread. We want to make these about 16 inches long. So we want to kind of start like in the middle and just kind of keep squeezing out. You want to make sure that you're keeping it even. Nice thing about these mats you can get, they have measurements on it so that you can make sure that what you're doing is, you know, you can get it out to the right measurement. If you see if one place, like this part was getting a little bit thick, so I like squeezed it down. So you can just kind of keep rolling it, pulling it. Okay. And my circle, the circumference of the circle is 16 inches. That back, and every time you pick it up it will stretch a little bit also. each part of the bread has a meaning. The bread itself, the circle bread, is the crown of Jesus. And then each plat of the bread, okay, now I need to get this. We're going to braid the bread. And what you're going to do is want to take the top pieces and squeeze them together and make sure that they're squeezed good together. If not, it'll come apart while it's baking. But each 3 pieces of the bread are supposed to be the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. So that's what each one means. We want to make sure that they're all together. And then you're going to start on the outside, go over, start on the outside, go over, and just keep repeating it. Outside, over the middle, outside, over the middle. At the end, we're going to take it and make it into a circle. Put mine on a greased pizza sheet. The eggs, you just want to kind of poke a little hole and put in there. You want to be careful because the eggs are not cooked, so you don't want to break it. One right there on that part where it connects together. And your plaiting can be a little bit better. Just my beginning part doesn't look as good as my ending part, but okay. And then we need to cover it, and we're going to let this rise for 30 minutes. We're going to make an egg wash to brush our Easter bread with, and this will give it a really pretty golden color. So I'm just going to take 1 egg and probably just about a teaspoon of water. Blend that real quick. Just like if you're going to scramble an egg. And then I'm just going to take it and brush it all over the bread. And you just want to brush this all over. And right before I got in here I should have turned the camera on to make up my egg wash. One of my eggs had rollen off because it had risen and it rose up and just pushed the egg off. So you want to make sure that your eggs are really pressed down in there. Because also when it bakes, it will rise a little bit too. So Gotta get all around the edges as well. In the middle. And it's gonna cook on 375 for 30 minutes. And you also can traditionally, or a lot of people will put colored sprinkles on top of it, but I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to do it. But you can put colored sprinkles on top, and it will make it look festive too. But I was thinking about after we have this, if there's anything left, this is brioche bread is a real good bread to make, you know, like French toast out of, or you can do a lot of other things with it. So that's the reason I didn't want to put sprinkles on the top, but you can do that and it'll be pretty. So I'm gonna put this in the oven and we'll be back when it's all finished. Okay, we're out of the oven. I probably should have checked it about 5 minutes ago, but it's just a little bit browner than I think it should be. But when the kids get home from school, we'll give it a taste. It looks really pretty. It smells so good. I wish there was smell-o-vision because it smells so good. But we'll be back in just a little bit when the kids get home, and it'll have time to cool off, and we'll do a taste test, and we'll see you back in just a little bit. Alright, we got Alex here. She's going to taste the bread for us.
That's good.
It's good?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well thank you guys for being with us. Remember to show kindness to others, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Like and subscribe.